Because of Donald Trump, millions of women lost the fundamental freedom to control their own bodies. And now, women's lives are in danger because of that. The question is, if Donald Trump gets back in power, what freedom will you lose next? Your body and your decisions belong to you, not the government, not Donald Trump. I will fight like hell to get your freedom back. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
That was another devastating Biden ad about the imminent threat to our rights that is Donald Trump. And I have more for you today on the specific topic of women's rights, but just to emphasize how strong of a messaging point that loss of rights line is, this next clip is Donald Trump himself saying that for his political opponents, not only will he take away their rights, but maybe even their lives. Before we get into the clip here, just a quick ask to like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps a lot, and I really can't wait to see your comments on this one.
And before I became well known as somebody that was indicted more than Alphonse Capone, the legendary Alphonse Capone. You know, Al Capone, if he took somebody to dinner and he didn't like them, he'd kill them. If somebody looked at him the wrong way, he would kill them.
And look, the irony of his comparison to gangster and later Alcatraz prisoner Al Capone is not lost on me, folks. Let's just hope he makes as good on that promise to use Al Capone's tactics as he has on the border wall. But back to the topic at hand, that Biden ad was the second centered around abortion rights that the Biden campaign has released in recent days. We'll show the other one in a little bit in this video, but fair warning, it is very emotional and a tough watch. But both ads really succeed in targeting Trump and his so-called abortion plan, which is really less of a plan and more of something I'm sure he's used to as a failed businessman, delegating to people he deems inferior to him.
The states will determine by vote or legislation or perhaps both, and whatever they decide must be the law of the land, in this case, the law of the state.
Now, even though Trump, to the chagrin of every conservative, did not call for a nationwide ban on abortion, and instead used the dog whistle reference to Jim Crow, slavery, and the Civil War, that is, states' rights, he is still taking a very clear stance on this issue, in that he wants conservative states to be able to carry on with their heinous and antiquated denial of women's rights. And one can make the argument that that is not just a progressive opinion, because as we've seen in Arizona, it's quite literally a fact.
The law dates back to 1864, before Arizona was a state, before women had the right to vote.
Ah, yes, let us go back to the good old days when women were forced to just keep their mouths shut and their wombs open.
And bans nearly all abortions. Already, the state's attorney general says she won't enforce it.
No woman or doctor will be prosecuted under this draconian law.
Since the fall of Roe v. Wade, the U.S. Supreme Court decision that guaranteed abortion rights for decades, anti-abortion groups sought to have the 19th century law revived here, superseding a state ban at 15 weeks. The 1864 law only allows abortions when the mother's life is at risk. No exceptions for rape or incest.
The country is evolving, folks, just backwards. A Civil War era law from when women didn't have the right to vote. And even though Donald Trump did say,
I am strongly in favor of exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother.
That is not easy to accomplish, especially when you leave the decisions to states, many of whom who have already decided that they don't support those same exceptions. And you can claim you're for exceptions for the safety of the mother, but that too is sometimes not enough. And as an example, I'm now going to play the absolutely heartbreaking other Biden ad. So please just know before I play it that this may be hard to watch for some viewers.
This is one of our willow boxes. This is just filled with some of the things that we had started gathering for her while I was pregnant.
Yep.
Here's her little baby book. This is the outfit that she was gonna maybe wear home from the hospital. All of these. This is the blanket that she was in. And these are her little footprints. It's okay.
Yeah, that is the reality of the situation for so many women, especially ones who cannot travel outside of their states reasonably to get the health care that they need. And look, I know the last thing this conversation needs is another man talking about women's bodies and their reproductive rights, but the other side is doing it too. And things like what I'm about to show you need to be combated.
I mean, this is tricky business. How does this play out?
It hurts Trump for a few days, and then people start to realize this is not the worst thing in the world.
He may come out. He'll come out against us. Oh, no, maybe he won't. But remember, his point was the legislature, Mark. He didn't mention the court. So this is tricky. State Supreme Court, does that qualify as a state decision?
Yeah, that's what it is to be pro-choice.
Yeah.
The states can decide. If you had to travel to another state to get an abortion, it's not the worst thing in the world. Hopefully, this is a very rare occurrence in your life. Once in your life, maybe you would do it. Buying a bus ticket to go somewhere to get it is not the worst thing in the world.
Having to take a bus to get life-saving healthcare is not the worst thing in the world. I'd love to see this guy keep that same energy if he were having a heart attack and needed immediate medical attention, and instead of taking him to the nearest hospital, I just got him a Greyhound ticket because I think the heart is just a clump of cells. And not only are they making these ludicrous claims about how it's not that bad, or how they actually are for exceptions in certain circumstances, or my favorite, that it's about the sanctity of life. It's not. It's about the exact same thing it is with all of these lying sociopaths. Control. Just listen to Hakeem Jeffries' statement from today when asked if he believes Donald Trump would not sign a national abortion ban if it was presented to him.
Donald Trump is lying. This is an individual who has said, along with the other extreme MAGA Republicans, that they are proud to have taken down Roe v. Wade. Donald Trump put 3 Supreme Court justices in place, several of whom, in my view, misrepresented their position before the United States Senate, claiming that Roe v. Wade was settled law.
Ah, yes, lying to the Senate and idiots who will believe you to secure your position of power and then strip said idiots of their rights. Check.
And then the first opportunity they had, took Roe v. Wade down and put the women of America in a position where abortion care has been criminalized in state after state after state. The extreme MAGA Republicans have been very clear. They do not believe in a woman's freedom to make her own reproductive health care decisions.
Despite Trump's statements about leaving it to the states, this could end very badly for women everywhere. Because think about it like this. Donald Trump lies. He lies to get what he wants. He wants to be president. And when president, as in his first term, he is the tool of hard-right conservative groups like the Federalist Society. So is it such a stretch for him to deny he'd put in a nationwide abortion ban now, much like how his Supreme Court appointees lied they wouldn't strike down Roe, and then on a dime, switch his tune when presented the opportunity and do just that? Really? Really think about that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you can, we'd really appreciate your support on Patreon so we can continue to bring you informative and thought-provoking videos like these in this very important year. For Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse, and I'll see you guys in the next one.